Hi, my name is Molly Hollibaugh. I am a certified Zentangle teacher, and I am going to teach you a tangle called Arukas today. So I'm working with my Zentangle tool set here. It is a ATC tool set, so that means it comes with ATC tiles. They are a little bit different than an original Zentangle tile, as they are in a rectangular shape. This is a standard for artist trading cards, so you may have a artist trading card or two at home, and these are the ones we make for Zentangle. Also in my tool set is a selection of a couple of different black micron pens, and also a graphite pencil and a tortillon. So I'm actually going to work with an 05 today just to kind of explore a little bit thicker line. And I'm just going to attack the tile without putting down a border or string right now, because Arukas will lend itself to just kind of covering this tile as a monotangle. I'm going to work with multiple Arukas shapes on this tile, and the way I'm going to start doing that is to create a couple of orbs, and I want those orbs maybe to be about the size of a quarter. Maybe they can vary in shape. Size, sorry, not shape. And perhaps one of them kind of is falling off the paper. So no need to be exact, but an orb is something like a circle, but not perfect. So that's my first step here. The next step is going to create a series of almost like spokes coming off of my orbs. And those spokes are going to be two kind of parallel lines that are close together. And I'm going to begin by putting one right here, stretching to the edge of the tile. So that's about the width that you're going to want your spokes. So whatever you start with, you're going to want to kind of repeat that same spacing. I'm going to put a couple of them on this first orb, leaving space in between. Perhaps putting about, I don't know, somewhere between 4 and 6 on each orb. And right here I'm going to connect these two, because that one kind of gets in the way. And I'm going to do the same with this one right here. If I were just creating one Arukas shape, I would just continue the spokes to the edge of the table, but we're doing a couple here, so I connected them like so. Now I'm going to go to my next orb and add some spokes coming off of that one. Turning my tile as I work. And here again, I'm going to connect. And then I'm going to finish off this last one here. So now that you have all your spokes laid out, your orbs are in place, everything's ready to go, we're going to go into kind of autopilot by creating auras, or a line that echoes the line we've already drawn, on all of our spokes. So I'm going to go around, on all of my orbs. I'm going to go around and I'm drawing just an aura of that original orb. But as you can see, I'm pausing where the spokes are. Then I'm going to go around the other orb and do the same. So if you're working on multiple shapes at the same time, I encourage you to do each step on each shape and then move on, instead of working that just one shape. Make sure that you aura all your orbs before moving on. Okay, so I think I have all my orbs aura'd here. And now I'm going to go and aura the spokes. So I'm going to put a aura on both sides of that original spoke. And as you can see, I'm using kind of the same spacing that I created with that first spoke. And just a little side note about Arukas. This is actually a tangle that I came up with, and the reason I named it that is because I was on a long phone call with one of my friends at the Sakura pen company, and I was trying to come up with a name for this tangle, and I decided to name it Arukas because Arukas is Sakura spelt backwards. So now you know where that comes from. And I think we got all of them. So now I'm going to go back and I'm going to put another aura around each orb. So as I said before, you're going to want to make sure you do all of the shapes and then move on to the next step. And that will start to make more sense when you start to kind of close in on things. And what I like about Arukas is if you accidentally double aura one area, it kind of gets lost up. Just work your way around, find your rhythm. Shapes start to narrow in on each other. And just pause if you're kind of trying to figure out where the next stroke will be. Take a moment, take a breath, and then move on. If you notice, I turn my tile a lot, but where my hand is, it hasn't really moved. And that's because where my hand is pretty comfortable. It's a comfortable place, each stroke pulling towards me. And slowly, the space between will start to close in. But sticking with that rhythm of working every orb and then every spoke. This way the lines start to weave. There's no question of what the next stroke will be. At the end, you may start to kind of just close in a section, maybe adding a little black where it's finally done. You'll start to see that there's no other option. So perhaps finish off that section. Back and forth. Aura the orb. And then aura the spoke. Once you get the hang of this rhythm, you'll start to explore many different ways to combine shapes, auras, spacing. Endless options. Never create it the same. Couple more spaces here. Again, I don't always color in those little sections, but they sometimes add to the composition. So once you have all your spaces filled, all your auras drawn, I'm going to go back with my pencil. Adding the graphite on here is going to add quite a bit of definition, and what I'm simply going to do is kind of go along the side of these, I guess, rays or star shapes that kind of have appeared, and I'm just gonna add a bit of graphite around the side of each one just to make them really pop. And I'm just gonna work on one shape right now just to show you guys, and then you can actually see the difference between one done and the ones that are not done. And then I'm going to go back with my tortillon, and I'm going to kind of nice and gently invite that graphite down the line a little bit. Beautiful fade from dark to light, casting shadows. Again, turning your tile as you work. Just barely touching the surface of the paper. Just kind of playing with the fibers. Getting rid of the harshness. So you can start to see how that shape is just jumping off the tile. And this is a great example where you can see the difference between what a little bit of shading can do compared to those original ones. And sometimes I'll just go back just with a leftover graphite on my tortillon and kind of create a little shadow around the whole orb. Subtle, but just adds to it. So I'm going to let you guys finish yours up. But that's Arukas.